And we're back for a segment of Home Plate, one of my favorite, our favorite segments.
There goes the diet.
Yep. Ya lo sabes. It's the holiday, so the diet has always been gone. Listen, at La Vida Baseball, we understand the cultural importance of food within our respective communities. Our segment Home Plate celebrates the many Latinx cuisines that exist around the world. Today, we'll be highlighting Jibaritos y Más in Chicago's Logan Square neighborhood in Chicago. We'll hear from its own Yelitza Rivera. She'll tell us how the food is an ambassador for Puerto Rican culture in Chicago. She'll also show us how to make a jibarito sandwich. And then my favorite part, we're going to try some right here in the studio. But let's watch with Yelitza.
Bienvenidos a Jibaritos y Más Chicago. Los invito a preparar el mejor de los jibaritos. El jibarito consta de plátano. Abrimos el plátano. Plátano en dos. Lo ponemos en el aceite. Un proceso de unos 10, 15 minutitos para volverlo a aplastar. Aplastamos. Esperamos a que se ponga crispy, tiene que tener una textura bastante crispy, unos 10, 15 minutitos quizás, que llegue su contextura perfecta. ¿Ok? Sacamos, preparamos. ¿Ok? Venimos. Consta de mayonesa, ponemos lechuga, tomates, American cheese, steak, cebollas y lo más importante, el ajo, que no puede faltar. ¿Listos para comer? Me llamo Yelitza Rivera, estamos en Jibaritos y Más en Chicago. Yo soy de Venezuela. Llegué hace 20 años a este país y desde el primer momento que llegué, mi primer trabajo fue haciendo comida puertorriqueña. La anécdota es que entré a trabajar, mi día de trabajo empecé a trabajar un miércoles, el viernes el cocinero renunció y tuve que aprender a cocinar la comida puertorriqueña, me enseñaron por teléfono. Y desde ese momento es lo único que sé hacer, es lo único que sé hacer hasta ahora. De Puerto Rico me gusta todo. Me gusta su gente, el calor de la gente de Puerto Rico es difícil de encontrar. Me gusta la isla como tal, me he recorrido casi toda la isla, trato de ir por lo menos unas 3, 4 veces al año. Las playas, absolutamente, puedo decir que Puerto Rico me encanta, es mi segunda casa. La comida puertorriqueña es puro sabor. Es como comer en casa, como comer la comida de tu abuelo, como comer la comida de tu mamá, y eso es lo que tratamos de hacer aquí, llevarle un poquito de eso a la gente. Tenemos el sándwich de bistec, sándwich de jamón, queso y huevo para el desayuno. Tenemos el arroz con gandules, no falta. El arroz con gandules, arroz blanco con habichuelas, las habichuelas que tengan patitas, el pollo guisado, la carne guisada, el lechón, el bistec cebollado, la chuleta frita. A probar Puerto Rico aquí en Chicago es... Mira, hay mucha gente que se vino de la isla a 20, 30 años y nunca han regresado. Probando la comida puertorriqueña aquí en Chicago, les da como un poquito de eso, un poquito de lo que no han podido ir a buscar allá. Las nuevas generaciones, muchas de las nuevas generaciones que se van levantando aquí no conocen más lo que nosotros les damos y tratamos de darles lo mejor que podamos nosotros. A través de la comida, ellos me dicen, mira, así cocinaba mi abuela, así cocinaba mi mamá, y eso es lo que trato de hacer las cosas lo mejor que se pueda para poderles llevar eso que no pueden ir a buscar allá donde... Mis clientes son diversos, tengo clientes latinoamericanos, mexicanos, hondureños, guatemaltecos, tengo muchos asiáticos, afroamericanos, se puede decir americanos, blancos americanos. La comida puertorriqueña le gusta a todo el mundo. No conozco a nadie que me diga que la comida puertorriqueña no le gusta. Jibaritos y Más comenzó como un sueño. Yo trabajaba en esta área todos los días de mi vida, durante 13 años pasé por esta misma esquina. Pasé todo el tiempo. Había un restaurante puertorriqueño en esta esquina y todos los días pasaba y en mi mente yo decía, algún día ese restaurante va a ser mío, algún día ese restaurante va a ser mío. Hace 4 años, casi 4 años, se me dio la oportunidad y aquí estoy, haciendo mi sueño realidad. Haciendo el sueño americano, que sí es posible, el sueño americano sí es posible, sí se hace realidad. Ambiente familiar. Aquí los clientes, aquí yo tengo clientes que vienen prácticamente todos los días desde que abrí, desde el primer día que abrí, y porque se sienten como en familia. Tú los saludas y es como si estuvieras saludando a un primo, a un hermano, a un vecino, y eso es lo que la gente le gusta de aquí. Y el Jibarito Sándwich fue creado aquí en Chicago, fue creado en 1995 por el restaurante, había un restaurante puertorriqueño, Juan del restaurante Borinquen lo creó en 1995 y se inspiró en un sándwich tenía algo así como de nombre de sándwich loco, que más o menos era algo parecido. En 1991 él tomó la idea y a partir de 1995 todos los restaurantes puertorriqueños aquí en Chicago venden el jibarito basado a eso. Ahora lo he visto en algunos sitios, no es muy popular, pero sí te aseguro que la gente que viene de Puerto Rico a Chicago viene obligado, prueba el jibarito. Este vecindario hasta hace unos años atrás era, se podría decir, 100% latino. Ahora no, ahora ha cambiado bastante. Ahora hay latinos, hay asiáticos, hay afroamericanos, hay blancoamericanos y va cambiando. El vecindario va cambiando mucho, está cambiando mucho actualmente. Aquí tenemos el tradicional arroz con gandules, con lechón y pastel, el plato típico de Puerto Rico. Este lo comes en la Navidad, lo comes en el Año Nuevo, lo comes en el Día de los Reyes, lo comes en el quinceañero, lo comes en el Día del Padre, el Día de la Madre. Tenemos también el bistec encebollado con arroz blanco habichuela, las chuletas con arroz blanco habichuela, con arroz con gandules. Tenemos los sándwiches, el jibarito, la morcilla no puede faltar. Las alcapurrias es lo más, te puedo decir, lo más, igual que el jibarito es lo más famoso que tenemos aquí. Roberto Clemente, ¿qué persona que le guste el béisbol no conoce a Roberto Clemente? Yo creo que Roberto Clemente ha sido uno de los íconos más grandes que ha salido como deportista de Puerto Rico y se mantiene. Aunque él no está físicamente, todo el mundo, tú ves a la gente con las camisetas de Roberto Clemente todavía, la camisa de béisbol con Roberto Clemente y tenía que estar ahí, porque una de las figuras, Roberto Clemente, Héctor Lavoe, que tienen que... Estos son Puerto Rico, esa es la cara de Puerto Rico.
¿Qué mensaje tienes por Ozzy Guillén?
Para Ozzy Guillén, mi paisano, le dio a Chicago con los White Sox una de las grandes glorias que fue llevarlo a la Serie Mundial y nada, que lo esperamos aquí. Ozzy, te esperamos cuando quieras, bienvenido.
Don't mind us as we chow down on this jibarito y un morito de guandules. So good. Arroz con guandules. So ya tú sabes, Ozzy, you need to go.
I will be there.
And bring your dad. Bring all of the Aussies.
Best Puerto Rican food made by a Venezuelan that I've ever had.
Really good.
She has I couldn't even tell the difference. Amazing flavor. The plátano is just on point. Listen, and one of my favorite things is I eat arroz con gandules
all the time. It's my favorite. Rices.
It's my favorite rice.
So arroz con gandules, and my mom makes a really good chofang. Those are like, that's it. If you show me white rice and you show me this, I'm always gonna go for this.
Sure.
And it tastes really, really good. The texture is great, and like Ozzy said, the plantain is good. Todo está bueno.
So this arroz con gandules reminds me of Alex Corraz's mom, Mami, who makes an amazing arroz con gandules. So I remember as a kid when I would go to Puerto Rico, during the holidays, eating arroz con gandules as much as possible. And then here in Chicago, it's such a Chicago thing. But cuisine-wise, this sandwich right here for the Puerto Ricans, this could be the Roberto Clemente of sandwiches. Like, if we had to give players, like, what they are, like, if, you know, Jibaritos are, like, so unique to them with the plantains and whatnot, it's super cool. If I had to give it, like, a status of, like, you know, Roberto represents baseball, and Jibarito is, like, their meal. At least for me, my favorite one. Why is
I can't talk.
I'm gonna do players and food.
In New York, there's a place called Cachapas y Más, and they don't call it jibarito, they call it patacón. But it's almost like a mixture of a chimi and a jibarito. For those of you who don't know,
Colombian?
Chimi, yeah. So Colombian and Dominican fused together. Chimis is our version of a hamburger in the DR, and you get, instead of lettuce and tomato, it's repollo, so cabbage, shredded cabbage, and but this right here, the jibarito, is so good. I am a plantain like.
So this way, I would Dominicanize it. I would put fried plantain in the middle of it,
sweet plantain?
like sweet plantain, like double plantain.
Double.
Because when you're Dominican, you can never have double enough.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, right. Can never have enough.
You can never have enough plantain.
Plátano power.
Nope. You can never have
Plátano power.
And honestly, that may be like an explosion of flavor in your mouth, because you have the crisp of this one, of the green plantain, and then you have the sweetness.
You know what's funny about this analytical world, about the analytics in baseball? Everyone's talking about, like, dieting and, you know, baseball players are doing this. I bet if I sat down with, like, Nelson, Vladdy, and guys that have raked in baseball, Miguel, and I really went through their cuisine, our Latino guys, like, I don't think a lot of guys are eating chicken and salad.
No, so I'll tell you this.
They're eating, like, very, like... So I want to ask them, like, do you guys eat Latino but healthy?
Yeah, so I can tell you this, based off of Nelson. Spring training.
Workout mode.
Okay. Eats very clean, but it's still Latinized, right?
Okay.
It's grilled chicken, but with a mixture of some onions, tomatoes, and, like, very, very, like, Latinized food with a lot of flavor. You know, we cook with a lot of flavor. But during the season, where you're working literally every single day.
You're burning more calories.
And you're burning more calories. I remember when he came here to Chicago, we ate mangú. We had tres golpes. So it was mangú, queso frito.
So that's one of the causes why he hit a home run?
Yeah. Plátano power.
Plátano power for real. No, because he's a guy that, he's older.
Yeah.
So, again, for those that don't know, when you're a man, there's a point in your, you know, you start eating. At one point, you always just lose weight or you just maintain. When you're a guy, you start retaining that weight. And Nelson obviously is just hitting. So, again, that burns calorie, but not as much as if he played the field. But he looks great. He's never had weight issues. He looks always very... So, I don't know if, like, you know, does he just eat chicken and salad or you mix it? I would love that idea. Nelson should definitely do that, like a healthy eating, but like Tina flavored it. The Nelson Cruz 30-day diet.
Yeah, that's how
I can jump on the Nelson Cruz.
Honestly, his cousin.
30-day diet, Nelson Cruz 30-day diet.
His cousin is one of the ones that cooks for us. So Jibarito and a tripleta are the best PR Puerto Rican sandwiches as Lou. This Jibarito is really, really good.
This is good.
This is really good.
So you know what I'm gonna do? There's a show out there. They judge pizzas. I'm gonna start judging Jibaritos. I'm gonna walk in, Jibarito, such and such place, address. Look at Bartolo Colon. It's all about, I know, look at the cuisine. Exactly. So I'm gonna walk in the place, I'm gonna taste the Jibarito, and I'm gonna rate it. And I'm just gonna travel around the United States just tasting Jibaritos throughout the world. How great of a job would be. And then I write a book. Jibaritos in player, and then, you know,
well, I think
sit there and interview baseball players eating Jibaritos.
I think that'd be a great interview. I mean, a great book. But what I was saying about Nelson, his cousin is the one that usually cooks for him. And I'm telling you, like, he makes healthy food good.
We got Lou Manny Rosario saying, one of my favorite places in Chicago, Cesar Manuel Lora, a must try. It's on my list. Boom. Indeed.
Is so good. Jibaritos y Más is at 3400 West Fullerton in Chicago. You want to find it. I mean, and we're not saying this. I mean, you can obviously tell we're literally stuffing our faces. We're not just saying this.
I judge food.
If we were just saying this, it'd be like,
So you know how I judge food? So like now when I have the address and I'm in the area, I will drive because I judge. I don't yell. I don't believe in any of that. I like going and tasting it. If I have a good experience, it's like, okay, this is a spot.
What neighborhood?
Logan Square.
Logan Square.
Logan
So it's like
Square,
behind my old neighborhood. So I'm very close where I used to live,
Okay.
right in Humboldt Park. But that's how I judge places. I try it. If there's something that I like at that place and I try it, I'll eat that all the time at that place. So I'm very like, I'm very like good with that with restaurants, especially Latino food.
You know how you know the food is good? We love all of our coworkers here and our staff at La Vida Baseball. All of our non-Hispanic La Vida Baseball coworkers are like, how do you make this? And that's how you know that you have won, because when everyone in the office can say, I need this in my life, that's how you know that this is really, really good.
Well, but it's hard because, again, I think for someone, and again, I guess I love eating.
Listen,
I guess I'm the person.
Plátanos, like, for me. And the thing with this is that they put garlic. Guys, you know garlic is the key to anything being successful.
But like Ozzy, who's going to be on the show with us later, like he won't eat. Like he'll be like, oh, I don't eat rice and beans. I love rice and beans. Like to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like so for me, so that now I have learned to understand Latino fusion and like cuisine where it's more about presentation and tasting, and like I call them fusion tacos, for example, on the Mexican side. That's fine. But I always like going to like local areas. And again, I think Chicago, one of the best things about that area is that there's a lot of choices for Latino food. But the hard thing is like it's easier when you're like the only place in town, so everyone goes to it no matter how good or bad it is.
Yeah.
When a place is doing well and you see people in it and they're eating and whatnot, it has to be good. Because everyone's like, you're competing against everyone's mom, everyone's aunt, everyone's restaurant. So in that aspect of it, when you see people going in there, and I think it's one of the things that I missed the most when I moved out of Chicago was being able to just be able to drive, we're 6 minutes away from Logan Square.
So
and just get this.
Cesar says, I'm going with Ozzy to judge food.
Wow.
It's not a bad job, right?
You know what? I love scouting in baseball. I think judging for food. You know what though? But it's I recommend Toxuco in Chicago, Rodrigo Dia. You know what's funny about that? It's the first thing players, individuals ask you if it's a new family moving into town, if it's a player moving into town, if they're coming to visit. Hey, bring me some Latino food.
From where?
Where can we cater from? It's just guys that want to switch it up. They want a different taste. Like I've never had a Venezuelan or like a Dominican guy say, "Hey Ozzy, can you bring me sushi to the stadium?" I never have. I never have. It's always like,
hey, if somebody asked me for that, I would just hit up 7-Eleven and be like, "This is what you deserve."
Listen,
for
honestly,
asking for that.
So many times that I've been at the ballpark here in Chicago, I can't tell you the amount of times that it's been rice, beans, chicken, plátanos being brought in.
Oh, let me tell you, like,
to the players.
one of the most comforting things that we have that is a direct connection to our culture is our home cooking. You just came from back home. How was it when you sat down for the first time in weeks and had some of your mom's cooking?
Listen, my mom, like I said, my mom makes this rice. It's called like the chofang. And it is just like the most amazing
right?
thing. And she made it. It was honestly the best that she's made it in a really, really long time. She's like, because I made it with love, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, food is like that. It's that thing that brings everybody together. And we sat around the table, had pernil, had some turkey, the rice, the flan.
Look at this.
yeah, look at
Look at
that.
this.
It's done. It's done. That's why I had it behind the computer. It's done. So here's the thing, though. So I'll give you a quick one. So we eat a lot of empanadas all the time in Venezuela.
Yeah.
If I land in Caracas, for example, and I go to my grandparents' house, there's an empanada place that everyone that's from Guarenas goes there.
Yep.
And my cousin was just there. He was just visiting. And he went to that empanada place. So we can eat empanadas anywhere. But we'll go to that place forever because it brings back memories. It's like, I'm home. Like, I'm comfort. And that's something like when guys are in the off season, that comforting of being home for a couple weeks and knowing, looking into perspective for a player is so huge because it builds up to do it next year. I think an off season is so great because when guys have really hard off seasons, and they're struggling, it's really hard to like bounce back. Just like anything in life, you go home, wherever home is, you have a great off season in the sense of like, not so much of like where did I went. It's like, well, how did you feel? Like quality time. You get to rest emotionally. You're de-stressing, and then I think that helps your performance in the next season because you're coming in with love. You know, I always tell people this: if especially more now, the more fans are out there, social media. We're a negative society. We always talk about like how much you're struggling, and baseball is a game of failure. So having that love in your loved ones and family, knowing. I always tell players, I used to tell them, know what your meal is. Okay, what's your go-to meal? Gotta have a spot. If you're a Latino guy, like if you're getting homesick, if something's happening, like where's the place you can go that you can call and you know the owners and you can get it whenever. Yeah. Because that's super important. Because,
absolutely.
Because again, you want to feel like, how can I fix this loneliness? And I think that's something that now we take for granted in baseball, because there was a time in this game that, the one time you got to New York was the only time that you got to eat some Dominican food. Mm-hmm. And, the one time you got to come to Chicago. So that aspect of going there, of knowing how big it was, I think it's funny what my parents, I think, large majority of their friendships from back in the day are linked to a restaurant.
Oh,
Number
absolutely.
one Puerto Rican family, own a restaurant. Number one Mexican family we're friends with, own a restaurant. Because no Venezuelans were there, and it's a Spanish-speaking place. You go in, you kind of feel comfortable. The food is very similar. Yeah. They can make something. And even now here with like the big influx of Venezuelans coming out to the United States and just migrating. It's funny because now we go as Venezuelans and we meet at Venezuelan restaurants, and I've met other Venezuelans, and players are always like, hey, what's the new spot? And they open, and I'm like, okay, this is a spot, because now we have our own cuisine. So it's really cool. And then the other part that's interesting is guys, when they play in different places, like for me, with people are like, well, you like so many foods from different places. I'm like, yeah, because I grew up in baseball. So if I went to somebody's house and they had something and I tasted it and it was good, okay, well, this is Dominican. Yeah. So my palate is a little bit different, but a lot of guys is where they played. So a lot of Venezuelans love Dominican food because, well, when you play, well, not only that, but when you leave Venezuela, you usually stop in the DR for about 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm.
You said something that was wildly impactful, and that has to do with the homesickness, but also the feeling you get by visiting these spots. One of the things that I took away from Jibaritos y Más, first of all, this was one of the only places I had on my very short list to visit for this segment, because I had tried to go there 2 times before I even got to eat there, lying outside of the door. Shut up. But I'm talking about with folks from the community. Mm-hmm. And it's apparent when you walk through those doors that the people who go to eat there because it feels like home. Like it's one of those cheers moments where people walk in and the meseras and everybody from behind the counter is like, hey, Felipe!
So listen, I have a friend who plays in the International League, Alfredo Despaine. You may know him.
Indeed.
He's going to be visiting Chicago for like a day, and one of my good friends who's his assistant as well, she said, okay, like, where are we going to go? And she saw the episode where we went to that Cuban spot.
Oh, 90 miles, yeah.
90 miles, and she's like, all right, that's where we're going with Despaine.
Hey.
Even though he's able to have
whatever
Cuban food and have he wants the Cuban food here.
But it's also like when you go home culture wise, like the music playing, like it's funny because
absolutely.
She had the standard Hector Lavoe, Roberto Clemente picture.
She's over here trying to breathe.
So we got Lou Manny Hernandez. It's hard to find some good Dominican food here in Chicago. There was that place.
Not at my house.
Not at her house. It's true.
Hey, we didn't.
She brought some.
We didn't do this on air. We should have did this. But one of the days that Jen was here for a few days, she actually brought in some mango.
It was good. It was
delicious.
I should have tried hitting batting practice that day. So I haven't planned the part. No, but like
it would have been a bunning drill.
Yeah, really. So it's crazy about how like when food is there, the music, the food, the taste, how much people relate that to the game of baseball. So I think that in our generation of Latinx, it's going to be something. It's even going to be bigger for my daughter, where you associate the game of baseball with the country that you're from and with your culture. Yeah. Baseball it's become more than just a sport. It's something like, I think that with soccer, it's been kind of like it embodies that, like everything that goes with it. So when you go to a place like that and you go watch a game, or you look at, or you hear the music, the taste, everything comes together. Mm-hmm. And I think for individuals like ourselves that parents are from another country, and you go into these Latino places, you feel like you are at home, especially the Latino community. Because if I walk into a Hispanic place, regardless if it's Mexican, Peruano, Bolivariano, anywhere, and I feel Latin America, I feel that warmth of them being like you're getting catered to that. There's a different style to that culture-wise, it makes you feel really comfortable, and that's something that is huge, and that's why I think it's so important.